Chapter 9.2, again, another extra credit lesson. So if you have not done all your tests and quizzes, then you should not be working on 9.2. This lesson is going to focus on a very important graphing topic, which is called x-intercepts and y-intercepts. Visually, these values represent where the graph crosses the x-axis and the y-axis. Of course, x-intercept, y-intercept. But we'll focus on the visual portion tomorrow. For now, let's focus on finding the values. We'll get the formal introductions out of the way, then we'll consider the common sense approach, because the common sense approach is the best way to do your math after you get the definition. So it says the x-intercept is the ordered pair that results from substituting y equals 0 into the equation. And then it says the y-intercept is the ordered pair that results from substituting x equals 0 into the equation. So pretty much it's based off of plugging in 0. So for one of them you plug in y equals 0, for the other one you plug in x equals 0. In general, it's not a complex definition, but the tough part is remembering which one calls for which substitution. So let's look at how our common sense can help us out. As long as you remember that you need to put a 0 in, then now you can actually use your common sense. If we are looking for the x-intercept, that means the most important value to us, variable to us, is x. And so if x means everything to us, that means y means nothing. And if y means nothing, then you can imagine that means y equals 0. Same thing for y-intercept. If we're looking for the y-intercept, then that means that y means everything to us, because I want to know where y touches the line. And if y means everything to us, that means that x means nothing. So therefore, you could imagine x equals 0. And the work that we're going to do is similar to what we did in chapter 8. Anytime you multiply a number by 0, the value pretty much goes away anyway, as you'll see when I do the work. So let's just look at some examples before moving on to your practice, so you can try to get some more extra credit. So this is exactly what you're going to see on each question. So it's going to say, consider the equation. What value would you plug in to find the x-intercept? Remember, x-intercept means x means everything, so y means nothing. That means we would do y equals 0. So what we will do is 3x plus 2 times 0, because remember, we're going to put 0 in for y, equals 18. 2 times 0, because anything times 0 is 0, just kind of goes away, so I'll cross it out and bring down 3x equals 18. Therefore, dividing by 3, getting x equals 6. Sorry, I almost took a shortcut because I'm used to doing it that way in real life. It's not going to make you show your work. Just make sure you understand how to get to that 6. Then it says, what value would you plug in to find the y-intercept? Y-intercept means y is important, which means x is nothing, which means choose x equals 0. And that's that simple. Now, what is the y-intercept? Means take that equation and plug 0 in for x. So 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 18. Well, 3 times 0 is nothing, so that means it goes away. And all it leaves us is 2y equals 18. Sorry, I can't write. And then from there, you divide both sides by 2, getting y equals 9. That's it. Your x-intercept is 6. Your y-intercept is 9. And how do I know this is my x-intercept? Because it says x equals. How do I know this is my y-intercept? Because it says y equals. Again, we'll look at the visuals tomorrow. But for right now, try to get this pattern understood, because it is a basic process for you to figure out. Again, looking at this, what value would you plug in for the x-intercept? X-intercept means y means nothing. Choose the opposite letter, gets the 0. And so you'll put 7x plus 3 times 0, because again, y should turn to 0, equals 42. 3 times 0 is equals 0, so it goes away, giving us just 7x equals 42. When you divide by 7, you end up with x equals 6. That's your x-intercept. That's it. And it says type the full answer, because you need to type actually x equals 6. So what do you plug in for the y-intercept? Well, if I want the y-intercept, y is important, which means x means nothing to me. So what is the y-intercept? That means plug in 0 for x. So I do 7 parentheses 0 plus 3y equals 42. 7 times 0 is 0, so it goes away. Therefore, 3y equals 42. Now you divide by 3 on both sides. Again, I'm going to trust you have a calculator, and I'll tell you that y is equal to 14. And that's actually what you have to type in, is y equals 14. But that's it. That's all there is to it. For your x-intercept, plug in y equals 0. For your y-intercept, plug in x equals 0. You do that 10 times, you get your extra credit today also. Again, considering this equation, x-intercept means y equals 0. So we're going to turn this y into 0, and I'm going to rewrite everything else. 5x plus 4 parentheses 0 equals 20. That 4 times 0 goes away, which means that 5x equals 20. That's 5 times x, so we divide by 5, divide by 5, getting x equals 4 is my answer. That is my x-intercept. Notice how it's very repetitive. What do you plug in for the y-intercept? Well, if it's y-intercept, you want x equals 0. So you go back up here, put a 0 where you see your x. So 5 parentheses 0 plus 4y equals 20. Again, 5 times 0 goes away because it's just 0. That leaves us just 4y equals 20. Now you divide by 4, getting y equals 5. That is your y-intercept. All right. So again, remember to ask for assistance as you need it. The topics are not meant to be difficult. They're only, you probably just need a bit of advice to get on track. Just make sure you complete it fully. Again, 100% on your grade, and I'll put a 5% on your lowest quiz for the quarter. This must be completed by Friday. This Friday, not next Friday, this Friday. So you've got about 3 days. What is it? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So actually, you got 2 days to get it done. So make sure you get started on it, because if you're trying to get another extra credit, you need to make sure you're ready for that tomorrow. So if I were you, I'd try to finish this today. That way you get your points and your grade can keep increasing. But outside of that, I will talk to you later, and good luck.